everyone. Welcome to Cooking with Brain Injury. Today, we'll be cooking with brain injury. I mean, cooking salmon with brain injury. No, the salmon doesn't have a brain injury? Well, I don't have its head anymore. I just mean that we have a brain injury. Bill and me. We're brain injured. How about that?
My name is Cheryl Green. I am not a speech pathologist, just my disclaimer before we start. I'm a filmmaker, podcaster, and blogger, but I have a background in speech pathology. I have a master's in speech pathology, and as Glenn can attest, various and vast experiences as a patient in speech pathology. Not really, not that vast. Anyway, so thank you everyone for coming. The presentation is Personal Narrative Film, a Social Participation Approach to Cognitive Rehab After TBI. Your learning objectives are to understand the World Health Organization ICF model of disability and of intervention, to identify goals for COG rehab at impairment, activity, and participation levels, to describe a context-oriented treatment approach in clinic and community-based settings, describe the clinical value of personal narrative, and identify potential uses of personal narrative film in therapy. So personal narrative, that is storytelling from the self, can be a way in. Kowarski pointed out that when you look at the evidence, especially the highest level evidence in the peer-reviewed journals, the randomized controlled trials, you don't see the client's personal narrative, you don't see anything about their life world in there. Of course you don't, because you could never do a randomized controlled trial if you were taking off every single thing about all their personal and environmental factors and everywhere they want to go with their lives. So you cut all of that out and just look at the variables that you can control and measure. So they're excluded. So it's good to note that as you're reading these journal articles and finding this great treatment, that perhaps the person in your clinic room has nothing in common with anybody who was in that research study. And you don't know anything about them because it's not listed. He argues that when things are written up, they will be put in quotation marks and they'll say just anecdotal. Well, it was just anecdotal that the patient said this helped them or that helped them. It was just this. And that framing of it really devalues the patient. Because when you think about it, why are you doing rehab? It's for the patient. It's for the patient to leave and say, I'm doing better. I liked that. So why would you then devalue when they say, I liked that? In general, there is a lot of rich information in people's personal narratives, and you can use the person's narrative to guide your treatment. You've got this great toolkit. How do you know what to use? This person will tell you what they want you to use.